Oh, that was amazing.
It was so good.
We're the best show you never paid to see.
Guys, this is so dumb. I love it.
Oh my god.
Today on the Terrible Warriors, we resume our mask campaign set in the city of Halcyon, that city of heroes. Our new young heroes got themselves into a bit of a jam. They're separated in different locations, and everyone but the Nova is under attack. As alarm bells begin to ring and the city comes under attack, our heroes will have to decide their priorities. Who is attacking Captain Orion? What has happened to the Janus's brother? Why have the walls in the arena come tumbling down? And will our Nova get a high score on the arcade machine? Now get back to work, you're supposed to be a hero! Yes, we're still romping around with the superhero genre and our heroes with powers they do not even yet completely understand. They are your Terrible Warriors. Welcome back, true Terrible Warrior believers. I'm your director for our Return to Masks, the new generation. We have a new generation of new masks in our part 2. We're playing the same game that we played before, but we're playing it with new players because I just wanted to show off how different a Powered by Apocalypse game can be played when you play with the exact same rules, with the exact same game master, with even the same city and some of the same characters, and yet we're already off to a completely different direction because of the characters we have. We have in our team the Nova, the Bull, the Protege, and the Janus, each of them with different rules and backstories and power sets, but all of them now under threat, except for the Nova, because no one wants to put the Nova under threat because he might destroy the world.
Yeah, everything's under threat from him.
You do have your Orion belt, though. It's also flashing. You're just like, you can't tell the flashing between the bleeps and bloops of the arcade. We have playing our Nova, the one known as Neon Blast. Scott Blast. Woo! And the one playing our Bull, Nick Easton? Nick Easton, the Enforcer. Currently clearing the dust out of his eyes as the wall has just come breaking down.
That would be Bernard, who's about to go Leroy Jenkins on a fool.
Jenkins! And then you have Derek playing our Protege.
Yep, I'm playing Johnny Slade, the Horizon Knight.
Yeah, sorry, and it's, of course...
My mentor, who was working on half of my equipment at the time, has been shot by an arrow.
Surprise attack!
Awkward.
And now I've got to shoot beams of energy from my pelvis.
Boo-boo, boo-boo-boo-boo. And joining us also for another campaign, we have playing our Janus, the Obscura.
Yeah, Brew Poisonne. Still here.
Sorry.
Still like living on the Terrible Warriors couch.
Not doing a time skip into like 7 days later, like Final Fantasy 15, where we just skip over all the good stuff. We're going to actually resolve this moment right here,
it's
right
like,
now.
lols, 4 people died and it happened off screen. Sorry.
Yeah, at Orion's headquarters, you were just trying to have a little fireside chat with him, and you finished the move before someone is attacking him. And someone with an arrow is attacking him. And you see a flash of movement in the catwalk. Orion falls down into the computer that he was working on while he was working on your bracers. And the proximity detector had gone off. And, he even closes the bracer and he throws it to you.
Yeah.
And he's just.
I imagine I've got like almost the Stark homing, so he holds up his arms and these bracelets snap on.
Yeah, they just like magnetize into your wrists, and he's just like, "Don't worry about me, get him," and he starts activating a bunch of defenses. That's me activating a bunch of defenses on the computer terminal.
No,
Such activation.
Wow, he even got the authentic slapping sounds in.
Much technology.
I take a +1 forward to see it through if you do it their way.
And sorry, we don't get to do an end of session just yet because we didn't wrap up the last episode with a clean bow. So we will do the end of session move soon.
I armor up.
Yeah.
And there's just like the flash of light.
Yeah.
And then he's in like the full hard light armor.
Yeah, unfortunately you don't get to enter a battle against a dangerous foe as a team because you're actually on your own.
Yeah. I am going to... God, I almost want to just assess the situation to see who the fuck this is.
Sure. Go ahead. So roll superior.
Yep. 14.
Okay, so you get to ask 2 of those questions on assess the situation.
Damn, I'm rolling well. Except for when it came to not being hit.
Oh, on a 10 plus, on a 10 plus, ask 2 questions. And if you get to then take +1 whenever acting on these answers.
If I ask what here is the biggest threat, will you actually tell me information about this guy, or are you just going to say the guy up there?
Well, I mean, the guy up there is the greatest threat, but I can give you more clues onto his identity.
I'm going to go with that.
A costumed, I can't say if it's a hero or a villain, but a costumed individual in red, wearing a what looks like a mask or like a cowl.
And he's got a bow and quiver of arrows?
He's got, it looks like it wasn't so much a bow as it shot an arrow, but it wasn't from a bow and quiver, but what you catch is a uniform of gadgets.
Okay, I'm gonna go with been reading the files then.
Well, you get a second question as well.
Oh God, that's right. How can we best end this quickly?
You can best end this quickly by locking the base down and trapping him inside and letting Orion's defenses do their work. There's a big red button on a door that'll just go, everything closed. No one in or out.
Okay, just before I do that, I'm going to go...
It's like the panic room button.
I'm going to go with been reading the files.
Okay.
Because I have encountered a superpowered threat. Roll plus superior.
Yeah, reading the files. If you roll high enough, you might even recognize where that arrow came from.
That's 9.
Okay, so what does that mean on a 9?
On a 9, tell the team one important detail you've learned from your studies. The GM will tell you what, if anything, seems different from what you remember.
Okay, so you recognize the arrow as coming from a hero in the city. It's branded, but you don't.
Oh, is this like all his gadgets from different people?
But from what you don't know if the arrow's from that hero or if it's from a villain who's stolen that hero's brand. But you and on a 9, and you're not really telling the team. I'm telling you, so I'm not going to let you remember who that hero was.
But I recognize that I've seen that bit of tech before.
Yeah, you've seen that tech from another hero in the city.
Surprise! It's a spine arrow.
It's not Spino Man. It's not Spino Man.
Spino Man wouldn't have
it's
archery.
Always Spino Man.
He'd throw those javelins or ninja stars.
No, it's all like it's a red motif, and you're like you've seen this before, but you can't remember.
I'm gonna lock the base down.
So, cool. That's just going to be, you're not directly engaging the threat, so you get a +1. I'm just going to say then you are able to, while he's making his way around, you hit the red button on the wall, and the whole thing locks down, and you hear a bunch of like stasis electrical arcs, and you hear a clump, and a body hitting the catwalk as it was unable to escape fast enough.
Okay.
You have your prisoner on the other end of town at the arena. Someone's just knocked through the wall, eyes glowing red, smoke coming out of their nose, pointing at you, wearing leathers. They are going to engage you. This person, just unprovoked, has knocked down the wall and is coming for you.
Oh, I'm going for them.
Yeah, great. So roll danger.
I would punch everyone come into this.
Maybe. What does it say?
Whenever you charge into a fight without hedging your bets.
Yeah, you're not hedging your bets.
All right, I'm going to put, this is definitely not mundane.
Okay.
So I'll put my mundane down and move my danger up.
It's a shift label move, eh?
Yep, it is
Cool.
shift your danger up and any other label down.
Very cool. So then...
Danger zone!
So engage the threat now with your increased danger stat.
Oh, dear Lord.
Oh.
So that's an 11 on the roll plus 3, so 14.
So pick 2 of these. Resist or avoid their blows. Take something from them. There's no point in taking an opportunity for your allies unless we're talking about Ralph. And impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition. Resisting or avoiding their blows. Whenever you engage a threat directly, you will have to take a powerful blow, but you can resist or avoid their blows, preventing the powerful blow from taking. So when you roll a 10, it's always good to at least take that one and then pick another from that list of 3. So that way you won't be taking any conditions when they because you're trading blows when this happens.
All right, so
Do
he
we
comes
make all
in.
rolls in this system? It seems like you don't actually make any rolls.
I don't make any rolls
Cool.
as a GM. I just throw conditions, and I have moves that I can use.
So he punches through the wall. He points at the Enforcer. The Enforcer runs towards him without a care in the world. He throws a punch. The Enforcer just blocks it away with a left and will look to frighten the opposition. It's obvious that it's not that he didn't have surprise.
He
and
hits
that-
you with his full power, and you just bounce him off.
I know,
and,
sold it.
And you give him the stare back, and it's just enough to like shake him down. And then you hear on the other side of the smoke, from the other side of the wall, "It's okay. You can relax and back down now. I think we've made our point." And it's the voice of Dr. Apocalypse.
You need a German accent for it.
I'm not going to do a German accent for it. I'm just going to be obnoxious.
Well, that's Apocalypse to a T right there.
I was gonna say. I mean,
It. How do you still have your damn medical license?
He's actually like his coat is blowing in the smoke, and he's got like he's just rubbing his hands, and he's actually flanked by he's got this one that he's put through, and another one off to his side, and he's like, well, it's very important that I always try to find a way to bring back the one that got away. And he's here to make contact with one of his greatest creations. You're making quite great waves for yourself.
Get bent.
And he's quite impressed with your abilities to strike fear and strength into the population. You could do great things.
Get Get bent Bent.
Okay, so
Andy can
would you
spell.
like to pierce the mask, provoke someone, assess the situation, directly engage the threat, unleash your powers, or reject his influence?
Reject his influence.
Okay.
9.
Okay, so on a 9, you can only you don't have any conditions to clear, but you can shift one label up and one label down on your choice, or you can cancel whatever influence this person has over you and take +1 forward against them. So you can reject their influence. Like you have no influence over me.
Yeah, basically, I am not your creation. You might have made me, but I'm my own person. So, for the third freaking time, get bent.
So he laughs and goes, "You can think whatever you want, but it's very clear to me now that you are so much stronger than I could ever have hoped for. And mark my words, one day you will join me, oh yes." And he starts to back away as his henchmen are here.
there's a vein in Justin's forehead going whenever he does his voice. It's amazing.
This is literally vintage Apocalypse right here.
So he's just kind of, he's not here to do anything, but now he knows how much you care for your Zamboni driver. And he's like, "Come with me, my fellow creations." And he takes off and he starts to back away, but also like he knows he's kind of met his match, but this isn't the last you've heard from him. He wants to recruit you. And he seems to. You do recognize the two of them are one of the 25 or two of the 25, and he's making his army.
So as he leaves, flip him the bird, because of course, and then just kind of turn to Ralph and, "I'm really sorry about your wall."
He says not to worry about it, and he picks up your Orion's belt that you had lying on the table. He's going, "You got bigger problems to worry about," and he tosses at you, and the proximity detector from the Orion base is going off.
All right. If you want to leave the heavier stuff, I can pick it up later.
And he's like, "That's all right. I was done for the night anyways." Like, in a city of superheroes, you kind of get used to structural damage from time to time, and he's got a good insurance policy.
Well,
Everyone will kind of have to.
bye.
Yeah. So, Janice, your brother, not around. It's nighttime. He's younger than you. He shouldn't be not home. You also have the detector going off.
Yeah. So I know what I'm gonna do. So she's kind of like sidled downstairs because she's got to keep up this appearance of like, oh, I just got home, and she like sidles downstairs and like slams the front door. And she's like, hi, Mom. Have you seen Josh? And she's like standing there with her phone in one hand and the belt like really obviously like behind her back. She's got her hand like really obviously behind her back. She's like, have you seen Josh? Because I have a feeling I was supposed to pick him up and I didn't. And I actually have a roll to make for this, which is mild-mannered, right? So you try and use your civilian identity to deceive, trick, or slip past someone, right?
Yep.
So she's trying to like convince her mom and get info out of her. Which is a 3, which is like a really bad miss.
What does it say on a low?
It says, on a miss, one of your civilian obligations rears its ugly head.
Yeah, your mom, what were you exactly asking?
I was like, have you heard from Josh? Because I feel like I was supposed to pick him up and then I didn't, and now I'm here. And like, she's kind of like,
And of course, your mom's like, yes, you were supposed to pick him up. Because he was at soccer and your father is working late this week and
right,
I had
it's
to...
Thursday. So, yeah.
Is he not... And she starts to panic. Is he not home?
No,
Mom that wasn't paying attention.
He called me 5 minutes ago and I know exactly where he is and I'm going to go get him now. Okay,
And
thanks, Mom.
On that low of a roll, mark potential. Mark potential.
I've got so much potential.
It was that
That's
at least
fine.
supposed to be plus mundane?
I mean, yeah, but it still wouldn't have gotten
You would have
there.
at least had a 6
it would have been a
instead
6,
of you would at least
but
had a 6 instead of a 3.
it's still a crit fail.
that's
Anything under
better
a
than-
7 is
And
a fail.
mark guilty as your condition.
Mark guilty.
Well, that's par for the course.
Yeah, I mean, this is my life. Hi.
Your
Always
mom doesn't
guilty.
get enough chance to start to push influence onto you because you abscond
I am out
before
the
there's a
door.
chance. But that also will come and bite
But
you.
in my civilian clothes, I am out the door. I took off the Obscura costume in my
you're-
bedroom and I
you're-
didn't go get it.
No, you're not.
But I have the belt
You're out there as Karen.
and also the Bluetooth.
You're out there as Karen.
So as I'm like running down the street, I'm like putting the Bluetooth in and being like, guys, what is going on?
What is going on? Nova, you're at the barcade.
About quarters.
When all of a sudden you hear, guys, what's going on in your headset.
And I'm like,
And I'm
Shark
obviously running down the street. Like you can hear like running down
And
the
so
street.
the 4 of you can communicate freely in your different locations if you want. You have captured the intruder / assassin in Orion's observatory. And I guess the
How's
bull is
the
on
doc
the way.
doing with the arrow in his arm?
He's he broke the arrow off. He sutured the wound. He's tying it up.
Oh my God, he's going full Batman.
Yeah, and he's getting ready to put him into a containment room and figure out who the hell did this and how did he even know how to get through the defenses.
It's like, dude, you had an arrow through your bicep. My bicep will be fine. We've got
He
bigger
seems
things
more
to worry
concerned
about.
the origin of the arrow than he does about the arrow in his arm. Because this is not an arrow he thinks that should have been aimed at him.
Whose arrow is this? Like I know I've seen this before.
And he apologizes, Horizon, but this is just beyond what he's willing to open up to right now. There are bigger things in play, and the fact that this has happened the same night as the wall disintegrating is not a good sign.
No, but somebody just took a shot at you in front of me. I think I'm in this about as far as I'm gonna.
You need to find your friends. You need to get them together because the city is not safe.
Doc, somebody just shook. He just tried to kill you.
So, are you trying to? Do you want to provoke him into a specific action to like reveal answers to you?
I'm trying to get him to give me some kind of answer here because I'm being treated like a mushroom right now.
Yeah. So here, roll superior against the NPC.
Okay.
Or pierce the mask, actually. This is more piercing the mask. You're not trying to provoke him, so this is a mundane roll.
Okay, let me just figure. I got a 10 at least.
Okay, that's fine.
It's an 11 with my mundane.
10 plus is all you need. So ask 3 of these questions on piercing the mask. What are you really planning? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? How can I get your character to blank? How can I gain influence over you? You don't have influence over your mentor.
I think the 3 questions I need to ask are in order. How could I get you to blank?
How can I get you to what? What's the blank?
To tell me what the hell's going on here.
Okay.
What are you really planning? And how can I gain influence over you from it?
Okay, so You can get. I will tell you everything you need to know once you have your friends safe. Bring them here. And what do you want? What is the
What are you
second
really
question?
planning?
Right now, I'm not planning anything. I'm reacting. Someone just infiltrated and attacked, and I need you to keep your head on your shoulders. If you do this for me, I'll tell you what you need to know.
Okay, and that would be me gaining influence over him.
Yeah, you just need you to get your team together.
Okay, Doc. Guys, I need you to get to the. I need you to. I give like a central location that we meet up.
Now, are you heading to the observatory when you hear this, or are you trying to look for your brother?
I'm trying to look for my brother because I'm in civvy mode.
How are you looking for the brother?
Yeah, I'm
trace your
trying. I'm
phone?
trying to call. Yeah, I tried to call him. He didn't pick up, and now
No,
I'm...
he didn't pick up. The phone is not in service.
Oh, good.
The caller you were trying to reach is not in service.
Good.
So either the phone is off or out of range or ...
So I guess at that point, do I have like cool things on my belt? Like, what do we got?
I mean,
on
it's
here?
supposed to be a communicator. Is what I purchased. for
Orion's
you.
belt, in the way it was described, because the gadgets he got, is connection to information and to his database and a communications device.
Okay.
It's not a belt.
It's a
really.
smart. It's a
Yeah,
smartphone.
it's like a
smartphone and a
It-
holster.
In its
Yeah.
original form, it was some kind of like super utility
Stupid
belt that had
belt.
like 12 different
Just
gadgets in it.
traditionally called
the
He's
belt.
put them into one.
It's now just the
It's
belt
like
is actually
a
a
new
series of
smartphone.
apps.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's 100% a series of apps now.
Okay. So.
Listen, guys, we
If you're looking for a missing person, there's no better place in the observatory.
This is true, but I'm in civvy mode.
yeah.
In that case, I gotta find something to cover my face, and then I'm going to the observatory. Quick to the dumpster.
You're the subway bag meme. That's gonna be you.
I don't know why you went out without your uniform, but that's on
was-
you to
I was
navigate.
really guilty and overwhelmed.
I mean, theoretically, you could absorb all the light going into you, and then just radiate it out from your eyes or under your feet, so you're literally like backlit or.
On your way to the
I'm not
observatory,
thinking terribly
you can
well.
grab a bunch of like clothesline clothes and just like fashion yourself like a ninja mask out of the t-shirt.
I've literally like poked holes in someone's t-shirt to see through.
Just balaclava thing.
But
like-
I'm on my way. I just gotta do that first.
Well, no, you've got the super senses, so you're not even poking the holes in it.
Yeah, it's
because
just-
then we
it's
might
just-
see what color your eyes are, and you're just gonna rely
man.
on hearing and like echolocation.
Echolocate. It's just like someone's freaking like Bomberman.
Your phone's ringing though from
t-shirt.
your
Three Wolf
mom.
Moon shirt.
Oh, good. So like as I'm pulling the shirt over my head, I'm like answering the phone. I'm like, "Hi, mom."
Josh's phone is off. What is happening? Where are you?
I'm just getting Josh, but like I can
She's gonna call the
barely
police.
hear you. Like,
She's
Joe,
gonna
I'll be
call the
home
police.
Soon. Hang up the phone.
She's panicking. Your father starts calling the phone from the office.
Meanwhile, I'm on the Bluetooth. It's like obscure. The rest of us are here. Where are you?
Coming.
Okay, so we want to skip to the observatory now.
Yep. When you see Obscura come in with that, just they're like laundry day.
Yes.
Yeah, Horizon Knight basically meets you at the base of the observatory. He like fully armored up.
And I'm in like a too big sweater and leggings and like fucking Converse with a t-shirt on my head.
And of course, we're all too geared up in danger mode right now to even notice the. Like,
Orion.
Yeah.
Orion comes around. He motions for you over to one of the drawers on the side. He pulls it out, and there's actually like a replica of your costume.
I'm not even gonna talk about how creepy this is.
And he's literally,
Just
and he just closes it. And he's just like you get this impression like he's got a plan for all four of you, like the way Batman's got a way to defeat all the enemies of the Justice League. He's got a file on all of you, to the point where he has a backup uniform should you be in a position where you can't get your uniform. So he's like,
Anyway, she ducks away
Washrooms
for a
around the
second.
corner, you
Yeah,
can go
like
change
ducks
in there.
away and like comes back just like awkwardly smoothing everything
now that
down.
we're all
Like
settled.
The sizing was slightly wrong, so you're trying to.
yeah, it's like the sleeves are a little short.
okay, Doc. Everybody's here. You said that you'd explain what's going on.
He doesn't. He is having a hard time getting it through until you hear a voice from around the corner. It's like he doesn't want to admit what he's done. and Shadowhunter comes around the corner.
Shadowhawk.
Shadowhawk from the first
Remind
campaign.
me, was Shadowhawk a powered or like tech character?
He's a tech character. He was very much a Batman style, with like he had the Hawkmobile and all this stuff, all these gadgets, but he wore like a red hawk style mask over his face, and so Hawk comes around the corner here, and he's like, "Oh, Captain Orion doesn't want to admit that he's the cause of everything that's happening."
What? Doc, is this true?
And he just has a seat and goes, "There's a lot you need to know about where all this came from," as he points at the observatory. And as he begins breaking into it, he and Hawk, I'm just going to get past the exposition because I just want to catch you guys up so we can move on. The 1970s, when they were at their peak in their powers. This isn't Hawk from our world. This is the same person you guys saw at the stadium, who came through the vortex.
And do we recognize him, or does he just feel
you all
weird?
recognize Shadowhawk, but you also he's a little different. His costume's slightly different. His tech is a little not as powered up. From his world, things aren't as advanced as ours.
Does he feel weird because he came through that weird void, or like does he freak me out? Or...
Well, it's not the first time he's gone through dimensions, but it hurts every time, and there's a reason why dimensional travel was restricted and ultimately completely cut off. Every time you traveled between the worlds, you add a crack to the glass. You travel too many times, the wall comes down. The wall comes down, everything tumbles, and the worlds either eliminate themselves or overlap or become just horror hellscapes. So it became agreed upon to shut that down, that there was no safe way to travel. And so in doing so, the heroic communities of multiple Halcyon cities formed a super group that they just called the Zodiac. And they were responsible for protecting the wall and protecting the security of the wall, making sure that dimensional travel between their worlds and any worlds did not occur. Hawk had detectors in his base. Orion had detectors in his base. And there's different heroes in different cities that are all sort of in on this kind of Illuminati group that exists clandestine to just keep things so that no one freaks out about how everyone is standing on thin ice, because there was a lot of travel in their time. Everything's very fragile and will always be fragile. And there, as of yet, no one way to fix that. In the world that Hawk is from, another city had an event happen that brought down their side of the wall. And their fix was to try and bring their world into his. And that was foolhardy at best and wasn't going to work. And what they saw the other night was an unintended consequence of bringing down the generator has actually caused a rift. It's caused a crack, and the dam is breaking, and the flow between the worlds is increasing. There's already over 100 missing person reports in the city, people that are slipping between the cracks as they are ending up in other worlds. And we can't keep the finger on the dam. We don't know what to stop it. And the problem started here in the observatory. 70, or not 70 years ago, in the 1970s, it started with Orion. It started with his experiments. It started with his bow that broke through the dimensional barrier for the first time. This is where it has to end. And actually, Hunter came here believing that Orion had broken his promise to never play with dimensional travel again. And he came here to follow through with a promise that if that promise was ever broken, he would bring Orion to justice and stop everything here and expose the truth. But it seems clear that the bow hasn't been activated, that hasn't been used. But
wait, the bow uses dimensional energy?
He kind of looks at Orion. Your own protege doesn't even know.
I thought it was particle beams.
Well, it is particle beams. It's just highly accelerated particle beams that end up moving faster than space and time.
That's
It's
insane.
how we can take out targets on the outer side of the solar system before they can reach Earth and before they detect that we have detected them. It made sense on paper.
Damn it, you
says.
boomers have ruined the economy,
I-
the environment, now the universe.
I was never going to use the bow, but having the governments of the world know that the bow is there is the only thing that stopped the whole planet from falling into chaos just from the threat of alien invasion. The threat alone is a deterrence. We never could have used it. It's all the safety measures are still in place. The bow is deactivated. Its strings have been cut.
He's just staring at him, kind of in mute horror.
And he's
Obscura is busy being like, highly accelerated particle beams. I wonder if I could like.
it's funny that you're focusing on that and not the missing people, but
No,
that's okay.
I've gone off on a thing.
I'm giving you guys an opening here to.
So you can ask some questions here as we figure things out, or Nova, Bull.
Yes. Okay.
I know we got two parallel arcs happening right now between Apocalypse and Hunter.
So, can you explain this in like arts major kind of thing? You know, like
The world's going to end, and we don't know how to stop it.
well, shit.
Oh, well, that snaps me back to reality. Oh, good.
It all starts at the stadium, but the whole city is being affected. And he brings up a map, and there's little red dots on the screen, and each dot represents a part of the city where the wall is broken, and they're like veils people can slip through. One of the dots is on your house. Want to say, but they're all over like the outsides of the city and downtown. The mayor is currently working with a bunch of refugees that came in on what appears to be a consulate from another city, full of aliens we haven't even made contact with over here, and now they're stuck here because we have no safe way of returning them home. But
This is how District 9 happened.
the shooting stars did their job and are holding the building in place, but they're calling them the Galians are a little freaked out because they were in their city one moment and then they were in this city another moment, and now they're apparently like there might not even be their home world in this universe.
Wait a second. So, what is the wall? It's a level of
It's just-
interference.
The wall is a term we use to describe the barrier between dimensions.
Right.
It's a natural barrier between time and space.
What is that barrier? Is that a difference in wavelengths? Is that a difference in vibrational frequencies? Because
It's neither of those things. It's just it's what stops you from stepping out your door and ending up in another universe.
But Doc, you're always saying that there's nothing that can't be explained by science, and there's nothing that we should hand wave away as just being the way it is. If this barrier exists, then it's something. And if it's something, then we can find a way to replicate it.
The research on the wall was halted in the 70s because the worry was even observing it would disturb it and fracture its damage already done.
So it exists
We
in a
know
partial
it's
quantum
there.
state.
We know what it does. We know that no more incursions were happening. So we just left it alone. There are just some beehives you don't want to go poking around with a stick.
Well, now we've got to poke something with a stick here, because what other options do we have?
And just as you say, what other options do you have? Nova, you want to say something?
Oh no!
Oh, it
well,
looked like you were raising your hand.
no, yeah, no. It was in the middle of figuring out a thought I was thinking.
Just as you're
about.
saying that, the monitor with the little red dots all over the city, it starts to like, all the red dots begin to grow. They're all like, the whole screen is starting to turn red.
Hey, Team Science, I don't think more red is good.
And
It was beautiful.
Oh my God, Bernard, that was phenomenal.
Orion stands up and is like, well, there's no point in debating anything now. The wall is gone. And
shit.
So what is?
and
What do we do?
so he's I don't know what to expect. But don't trust anyone you meet. Because whatever worlds we begin to overlap with, we might not be able to determine. He turns to Hawk and goes, we have to activate the Zodiac. We need to contact everyone. And even though like the rules are to not even try to communicate with the other worlds, to exist on their own, that protocol's done. We can't stop the damage, but maybe we can fabricate a solution.
While they're going off on that,
So they're talking amongst themselves. They're,
Horizon Knights-
they're ignoring you
Yeah, exactly.
altogether.
He looks at the team. Okay. I'm starting to get an idea together about this. They're ignoring the fact they're trying to solve the situation. They're trying to put a Band-Aid on it. But we don't need a Band-Aid. What we need to do is find a way to actually get the barrier to heal itself, to naturally reconstruct. If it's a wavelength, then it's wavelengths merging. We can find a way to separate the two of them. Okay. Cosmic energy.
Of,
Exactly.
news alerts are showing up all around on Orion's detection systems. Because again, first responding drones and stuff,
Yeah.
and a bunch of like flagged events start showing up, newsreels and articles, tweets. There's a lot of villains making their moves around town, and in fact, one that catches your eye in particular, no one else's, Bull, is a report of Apocalypse. And Apocalypse moving with new, stronger henchmen. But the thing is, you see two different news reports in two different parts of the city with two different visions of the apocalypse of Dr. Apocalypse in two different parts of the city at the same time. And then a third one shows up on a screen.
And one of them, for some reason,
And
he's
then-
wearing magnet boots.
and a fourth one, and then in the fifth one, there's one of them, and he's got Spinal Man stuck in a noose, like by his ankle, swinging over a park fountain, and just pontificating to any of the crowds around him.
Hey,
It looks like
yeah.
there's one of the
90?
strong guys hitting him like a piñata.
90?
Yeah.
I don't think that's good. Like,
On Dr. Apocalypse.
no, multiple supervillains. He might not be the only one that has like all of his copies from these other
wait.
parallel universes here.
Obscura is checking her
And then
like,
Hawk goes,
civilian
hold on,
phone.
Apocalypse is a villain here?
Okay, no, seriously. How could you have a universe where a guy named Dr. fucking Apocalypse is a good guy?
He redeemed himself and he changed his name, but oh my god, if he's a villain here, he might know everything that we know. Does he? And he looks to Orion, and Orion's like, of course he does.
This is Dr. Apocalypse's
A
plan.
Dr. Apocalypse is a redeemed hero in another city who's also a member of the secret Zodiac.
Oh.
Well,
Which means in the 70s, even it's possible this Apocalypse knew of the conspiracy with the wall.
This is Apocalypse's plan.
Yeah, he had thought that perhaps he could bring on the apocalypse by merging his worlds together and creating a new universe in his own image, I believe is how he put it.
oh god, he kind of showed up at the rink when you called and made those hey, you should join me because I made you blah 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 blah. I'm evil. You should be evil, and I flipped them off.
Okay, if we can find whatever he was using to do this, I think we can stop it.
So we're gonna go punch him repeatedly.
Cosmic energy,
Yes.
guys.
Yes. And yes. You haven't said anything yet, Obscura, but yes.
And she like looks up from her phone because she was like very clearly like doing something on her phone, and she just goes like she hasn't been listening to a damn word coming out of your mouth. Just like, can you track a phone?
Yeah.
Can we do that right now?
Whose phone do you need me to track?
I just need to track a phone.
Whose phone do you need me to track?
It's just a phone.
Okay, world literally ending, Obscura.
Use your influence. You can take advantage of your. Do you have influence
I
over
do.
Horizon? You
I also
you
have
can.
influence over her.
Yeah, but what she can do is she can take advantage of that influence and burn it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll burn that.
Right? What that is here.
And she basically just looks at you and you're like, no, whose phone? And she's just like, look, people are going missing, okay? And I just need to track a phone.
You can inflict a condition on them or take an additional +1 on a move targeting them, which in this case would be to provoke them into getting the phone.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take it's a +1 on a provoke?
Yeah, on a +1, if you get a 10, or sorry, on a provoking someone, if you get a 10 or a 7 to 9, you can they'll do it and you can add team to the pool. And if they don't do it, they mark a condition. So you can provoke them into doing something. And if they refuse to do it, they'll mark a condition for rejecting that.
Okay,
wowzers.
Yeah, that's
so
a good one.
At
That's
a
an
7,
11.
you can. So on a 7, so she wants you to track this phone. Do you want to do it or not? If you do, there'll be
Yep.
team pool added. If not, you'll take a condition.
No, I'll do it, but I'm just.
You're not like the most
I'm
happy
gonna get
about
the name of whose ever phone it is anyway when I plug it in.
Yeah, like you're like, okay, but whose phone? And I'm like, his name is Josh. And you.
Okay, yeah, Horizon just gestures over to your phone, pulls out like one of those Tony Stark like holographs out of it.
Yeah. You do the trace.
Yeah.
And it's just blink, blink, yellow yield sign, nothing.
Shit.
Well, either the phone's off,
Maybe he's one of the people that went missing.
or he's one of the people that went missing. Track last location.
Last location is it scrolls back to the last ping from a cell tower, and it was just in his house.
In the shrub household.
You don't know at the shrub household, but it seems to be just.
But it was a
residence-
house that one
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
red dots had originated from.
A residence on just the outskirts of town, just outside the downtown, like in the.
I don't know who your friend is, but I
residential area.
think he took a walk.
Good. Great. Okay, let's and she's like kind of like
You have-
rolling her phone
you have
over and
6
over.
You
Can
have
I
6 voicemails.
Can I
from
roll
your
to pierce
parents?
the mask on her?
Yeah.
Oh, nope.
Okay, take a condition and mark potential. Maybe the condition can be
Angry.
or I don't know. Either hopeless or insecure might also work. I don't know how you're.
Depends on how you
Feeling with
feel
this
about
person
not
who's-
getting to know the answer.
Yeah.
Are you more angry?
I think I'm angry.
Are
that
you
won't-
more angry at like that you don't know, or are you more like, oh no, our team is falling apart?
I think it's angry that you won't open up.
Okay.
It's like everyone else on the team knows who everyone else is.
Yeah.
And you won't. You're asking me to
And
do
you
something
show up
when the
with a fucking
fucking
t-shirt
world
on
is
your
ending,
head.
and you won't even. And you won't even tell us who this person is that we're supposed to be
Yeah.
tracking down.
Okay, so what do you want to do right now? We've got Apocalypse on the tear. We have a veil between worlds coming down. We have a missing person close to the teammate. And Orion and Shadowhawk are currently in like close conversation. He's messaging that, he's mentioning names of other Zodiacs that they can contact from other cities. But they don't even know if they're going to be able to
Yeah, but
receive
at
a
this point,
message.
this point is Batman cutting Robin out of the decision-making process.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Well, I was going to mention to the protege, I'm like, well, there's one thing we haven't been using. I have a question for you. With my cosmic energy, how much is known about what my powers really can?
No, I think I can. You're a big part of this.
Yes.
I think if we can figure out Apocalypse's projector, we can use you to attune the wavelength.
But I'm also wondering if we can do that for that, can we not also use my wavelengths
What
or whatever
projector?
energy?
Whatever Apocalypse used to do this in the first place.
What do you know that he's doing anything in the first place? He's just showing up in 5 places around town, and he's got Spino-Man.
Yeah, but the
And
dude
an
also
army
said
of
that
25.
Apocalypse is the only thing we know for sure right now.
He's working
He might
on
just
the
be taking advantage of a chaotic
yeah. He's
moment.
working on the assumption that Apocalypse has something to do with this.
Yeah.
But what do you call it? Minus the
Apocalypse
apocalypse.
just might not. I can assess the situation.
Okay, that seems to be something I actually roll well with. Jesus, 13.
Okay. Apocalypse might not be responsible for any of this, but is just taking advantage of the fact that walls that were there preventing him from working with other versions of himself are not there anymore. And now he's just reached out and he's taking advantage right now on a moment that he never thought he would ever see again.
What I'm trying to build up to, Justin, is I'm actually trying to build up to invoking my moment of truth.
Okay.
Because I have this insane plan.
Yeah. So you can ask on that number. You can ask 2 questions.
Okay.
I answered one of them just by myself, so you can ask me one of those others there. I'll tell you, Apocalypse is not the biggest threat. He's just taking advantage of a situation.
How could we best end this quickly?
You can best end this quickly.
Man, that is a hard question to throw at the GM.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, this whole big thing, how do we finish it?
Yeah, you can't end this quickly because that's just not a question that has a quick answer.
Okay.
You can deal right now with immediate fires.
Okay.
And maybe you could save Spinal Man.
The guy's a dick, though.
I mean, if she'd open up to us and tell us about her friend,
what
we could
here
go
is
try
in
and
the
save
greatest
him, but-
danger? Spinal Man's life is the most immediate danger, as well as the missing people. There are things that are currently outside of your sphere of influence. Mm-hmm. There might not be anything you can immediately do with something as world-changing as the dimensional wall barriers coming down until other people more knowledgeable have an answer. Right now, you have villains running free in Halcyon City to the point where they have overpowered one of the most prolific heroes in the city.
Okay, if nobody has any objections, let's go deal with Apocalypse.
Well, you can.
I gotta-
You could be like, well, we.
Go ahead, Nova. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier you're talking about using my wavelengths. Why can't I want to go talk to what do you call it, Professor Orion,
Captain Orion.
Captain Orion, sorry, and just ask him if there's any way to attune my causing abilities to help him contact the Zodiac and keep the stream open to receive messages.
He's open to that idea. They have to consult. They have to look over papers. They have to.
They've gone up their own asses.
Yeah, and that's a real good suggestion, son.
Yeah.
But
The
yeah.
old guys are not doing anything. And as much as I hate Spino Man, he did save my ass.
Look,
in the
if there are
hospital.
no
I owe him
objections, he says, pointedly looking at Obscura, let's go deal with. Let's go save Spino Man from Dr. Apocalypse.
one. I'm gonna need a drink after
I
this.
feel like I should be burning my influence on her at this point.
So.
I feel the need to just be petty right now because I'm angry.
We are going
Go
to.
with it.
Hold on. The line was, "Let's go save Spinal
Yeah.
Man from Dr. Apocalypse."
And I know I can't believe how stupid that was. That sentence alone will live in the infamy of Terrible Warriors as some of the stupidest words to ever come out of my
Such
mouth.
a cool hero. You're about to enter battle. Is that going to be our
Yes.
next scene?
Yes.
Yep.
You're about to enter battle against a dangerous foe as a team.
Yeah.
Add
So,
2 to the pool.
Add 2 to the pool. You have a bunch of
We got
of
pool,
pool here.
stuff.
If the leader has influence over every teammate, do you still have influence over every
Yes.
teammate? Add another to the pool. If everyone has the same purpose in the fight, add another to the team. So, we are going to save Spinal Man from Dr. Apocalypse. However, I have to ask each of you, why are you going into this fight with the team? What is your purpose for this fight? Nova.
Well, my purpose is to basically get this thing over so we can deal with.
We
the
know
overall-
what our leader wants. He wants to
Venting
save
frustration.
Spinal Man from Dr. Apocalypse. What do you want?
Oh well,
Do you want to save Spinal Man from Dr. Apocalypse, or do you have other motivations?
no, I'll save Spinal Man from Dr. Apocalypse.
Bull.
Save Spider Man from Dr.
It doesn't
Apocalypse.
stop being stupider no matter how many times you say it.
Yes, it does.
He's literally just.
Am I gonna ask?
And show up the son of a bitch.
Okay. All right. That's still, you got. It's close
He's
enough.
my rival.
Close enough. Yeah, you got to save your rival, and you got to help out. You got to help out your buddy.
I am specifically going there to vent frustration.
Are you going
Justin
into
is
this?
literally threatening me
this
with
all
this
has-
penny he's
I got
about to
the
put
penny.
into the pool.
Do you have the same purpose in this fight? No one knows your brother's missing. There's nothing you can really do about your missing brother.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do about my missing brother.
It's possible that capturing Dr. Apocalypse might
I'm
get you answers.
going along hoping that we will get enough information out of this that I can learn something.
If you want to learn about forbidden
don't
sciences,
super
you might
care
want to
about
talk to a mad
Spino-Man.
scientist.
Well, I was actually pondering that as well. That part of my thought was if he had any kind.
However, this is what I want to propose to the group. If that is your purpose, I think it is. The three of you want to save Spider-Man from Dr. Apocalypse.
I don't care about Spino-Man.
He doesn't care about Spider-Man. She wants to capture Dr. Apocalypse.
I kind of just want to punch Dr. Apocalypse.
So the purpose is not the team. You're not going to get the pool.
No.
Does any team member mistrust our leader? Horizon.
No.
No? Everyone trusts?
Hooray! They don't think I'm a loser yet.
Are you ill-prepared or off balance? I'm just going to say no. You're absolutely prepared for this because you're about to launch your attack from Orion Base with whatever gear and stuff you can get from his database ahead of time.
I'm mildly distracted.
So the team leader can mark a condition to avoid removing team from the pool.
Not an issue here.
And yeah, that's not a problem. Anyone working with the team can spend team 1 to help a teammate, give +1 to their roll. Yep. And you can also spend team selfishly. When you act selfishly, you can say your actions ignore or insult your teammates. You can remove one team from the pool and shift one label up and one label down, your choice. You can use this option after rolling to alter the label you're rolling with. So if you fail a roll by like 1, you can then act selfishly, boost your label up, remove from the pool. All right, so that's always an option in a team situation. And whenever time passes, I'll be emptying the pool and restoring it to one team. But time hasn't passed, so we're still building it up.
Yeah.
For you
So-
listeners at home, we have 8 in the pool right
It's
now.
really important I told you about the selfish acts because I really want to see that happen. Join us next week when we save Spino-Man from Dr. Apocalypse.
Shut up! Stop! No! No! No matter how much we say it, it sounds horrifically dumb.
Next week on Terrible Warriors, the team saves Spino-Man from Dr. Apocalypse. And meanwhile, we cut to like the final frame in this issue's comic, and it's just got a Dr. Apocalypse and like 2 of his 25 just like pinataing the Spino-Man. We're going, ow! Ow! Quit it! Ow! Damn it!
Spino-Man is invulnerable and it's still
Spino-Man is not enjoying this.
With Spino-Man brand baseball bats.
Yes.
Oh, the irony!
The
Why
Spino-Bats.
did I ever think this branding was a good idea?
Yep.
And there's like a bunch of civilians that are just outside by the by the Central Park fountain where this is all
With the
happening.
phones out?
We're filming it on the phones. It's like, no, Spider-Man's gonna become a meme.
Memo
Spino
man.
meme.
Spino meme!
Well, that's becoming the next
Hashtag
hashtag.
Spinata.
Anyway, we are.
We are for our team of masks. I am your director, Justin Ecock, following with my team, the Nova,
Scott, who supports saving Spino-Man.
from Dr. Apocalypse, and our bull,
Bernard, who very reluctantly will save Spino-Man from Dr. Apocalypse.
and our
Derek the Bard
protege.
for chasing the music. We'd stop fucking talking about saving Spino-Man from Dr. Apocalypse.
This is, I gotta say, for our Patreon supporters, this is getting the biggest bang out of their monthly support for this NPC game I think anyone's ever gotten.
So good.
And not actually giving a shit about Spino-Man, but is gonna capture Dr. Apocalypse and save her brother.
I can't get there anyway.
Janice.
Free Poison.
Secret motivation.
Secret motivation. Still looking at my phone. There are so many missed calls. I think that was from the police. Woohoo!
Yeah, they're about to put out a missing report on Karen now.
Yeah, Amber Alert.
Take it away, Justin. Bye.
Bye!
The Terrible Warriors have new episodes every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Masks will return and conclude definitively for now in 2 weeks' time. Will they stop Dr. Apocalypse? Well, you'll just have to tune in to find out, true believers, on Thursdays. We return to Derek the Bard, Will Mitchell, and Wes Gunn as they've created a new world called Valemount. Yes, in the Parliamentary Republic of Valemount, monsters are a very real threat, as their walls between realities are a little bit blurred as well. But that's okay, because there's licensed monster hunters if you can afford them. And if you can't afford them, you can go to Will and Wes. Yes, you can take the boys out of the bounty hunter game, but you can't take the bounty hunters out of the boys. Our dynamic duo return to the Parliamentary Republic of Valemount on Thursday. And on Tuesday, should you find yourself back here listening again, we were going to play a new game. It was going to be called Threadbare. But you know what? We sat around the table, we were trying it out, and 2 hours in, we didn't like it. And we decided on the spot, no. If the game's not good and we're not having a fun time, we're not going to put it on the podcast. Now, we put ourselves in a vulnerable position where we tell you the games we're going to play before we've actually recorded them, which means Threadbare's gone. We've blown it out the airlock. Hopefully we can come back to it when the game is a little bit more polished. For now, Mike the Birdman Dodd will make his triumphant return as Game Master in a game we're recording tomorrow. So hopefully this one works out. You've seen him posting about it on Twitter. He's bringing together a group of ambiguously attractive 20-something adults to Crystal Lake. Because there's this urban legend about this Jason character. Man in a hockey mask will hunt you down if you try to spend the night in the woods. Oh, that's a dare we're gonna take up and all gonna die horribly, aren't we? Yeah, how do you survive a game like this? Maybe you don't. So yes, you can come back next week to hear all of the terrible warriors brutally murdered by a serial killer. Happy May? And alternating on Thursdays with our Valemount campaign, Derek got together a group of players from all over the country and threw them through the Stargate. We're having our own Stargate adventure, and it was so good. You don't even have to be a fan of Stargate itself. The lore was very light, it's very accessible. There is a gateway that takes you to alien worlds. The whole game takes place on that one world, and we don't get lore heavy on you, so don't worry about inside jokes. Just worry about how good this game was. We all walked away really high off of it. This might be one of our favorite games of the year. So Stargate, SG-12, The Shield of Mars, in 2 weeks' time, is not a campaign you want to miss. For all the updates and explanations about why we cancel games after recording them, you can follow us on Twitter at Dice Warriors. You can follow us on Facebook. We've got an Instagram account that sometimes we use, but mostly we don't. As well as if you like this show and want to be involved in helping to choose future games for us to play, that's at Patreon, patreon.com/Terrible Warriors. This is me talking very fast as I tell you that today's Terrible Warriors were Derek Burrow, Bree Poisonne, Scotty Bordas, Justin Ecock, and Bernard. And your heroes will return. Will they save Spider-Man from Dr. Apocalypse? To be continued. Thank you for listening to the Terrible Warriors.